Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, then run it back. Run it up, run it back. Run it up, then run it back.
Well, hello and happy Thursday. Happy Tournament Day. It's officially our brackets start to die in a few hours. Yay! Michelle, Lou, pros. Chandler, where are you now, Chandler?
By the way, I'm starting to think it's my computer because I look sunburnt again. and I left last night, so I haven't been in the sun yet. So
Maybe it is your computer. Maybe we need to adjust your settings.
He has a filter on his computer. He's using the filter.
It's like the beach filter.
Yeah.
Like where are you? Are you golfing? What's happening?
I'm in Palm Springs. I am playing in the Madison Club member guest this weekend. Shout out Tommy Mativi. Mikey Mativi let me stay at your house.
It's exclusive.
All weekend. Yeah,
it's Thursday, though. What's going on? It's Thursday.
You know what's weird? They do it Thursday to Saturday, this club. I guess it's very strange. I don't know why they do it, but it's a blast.
All right, well, hopefully you win. Maybe one of these you'll win someday, and you can tell us about that. We've got Jay King from The Athletic coming on a little bit later to talk Celtics, who just had a little bit of breaking news on the sell of that team. But we're going to start with some Nuggets and Lakers. Luka and his team. Look, oh, that's ridiculous. All right. They took care of Denver 120-108. Luka finished with 31-9-7, 21 points in the first quarter. Reeves finished with 22-5-8. Gordon with 26. Luka's been great. Last night felt a little more sort of like a Luka game. Took over very, very early, mentioned the 21 in the first quarter, and then everyone else just got to go out there and be the best version of themselves. Chandler, when LeBron was going to be out for a bit, you said this is a great thing for Luka. Is this what you meant?
It is, and again, this is not that he needed to get confidence. We're talking about Luka Doncic here, the top 3 NBA players in the world. But when you're in a new city like this, a new market, you're house shopping, you have so much going on in your life. You're trying to fit in at first. You can tell he was being a little passive in the beginning. He was looking for others. He wasn't looking for a shot. Shots weren't necessarily going down either. He struggled, shooting the ball efficiently after missing that much time in Dallas with the calf injury. But this is the version that we're used to. This is the Luka that we know and that we love. And this is the Luka that he needs to continue to be when LeBron James is back in the lineup. And as good of a playmaker he is, he's a scorer. And he can go and get you 30, 40 points in his sleep every single night. So he needs to continue to be that version while getting everyone else involved. He's been doing a great job with Austin Reeves, letting him rock and continue to do his thing and see his numbers continue to rise. But I don't want him to get passive when LeBron James comes back, because this is the best version of Luka. This is the best version of Lakers. And LeBron has already said he's willing to do whatever it takes. He's willing to fit in. He's willing to do, be the guy some nights, be the third option some nights. He doesn't care at this point of his career. So this is the Luka I think we need.
Yeah, I don't think he's benefiting from LeBron's absence. Since he was traded to the Lakers, he's led them in every major statistical category. I was the guy that said LeBron James has been the best player on the Lakers, including when Luka Doncic is on his team. I may have been wrong since that trade, but yeah, he's gonna be Luka no matter who's on the floor. So him having the ball in his hands, him making plays for everybody else, setting the table for the entire team. This is nothing new for Luka. This is nothing new for him. This is what he's done his entire career. So having LeBron James out of the lineup is one thing, but saying that he would benefit from it, that's a completely different thing. Like he's had stretches where when he was in Dallas, when Kyrie was out of the lineup. Now he has LeBron out of the lineup. It's still business as usual. You still expect them to have chances to win games when you have Luka at the top of that.
I know.
Go ahead. When you play with a guy like LeBron, right? You don't want to step on any toes when you first get there. You want to fit in. You want to be the right. You want to be a
You'll
good
disappear.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he got a little caught up in that early, and then he was settling for these long, hard, not effective 3-point shot step back. So he wasn't doing what he did last night. He wasn't doing what he did in Dallas, which is fine. I think that's normal to try and fit in. It's like the new kid at the new school. He was trying to make everybody happy a little bit too much. But this is the version of him that I think benefits, obviously, him and this team.
So I know the standings are what they are, and the Rockets have played, I think, 2 games more than the Lakers have. They both have 25 losses. The Nuggets have 26 losses. Despite where they are right now, do you think the Lakers are the second best team in the West?
I think they're 2A and 2B with the Rockets. The Rockets have been consistent this entire year. They had some slippage coming out of the All-Star break where they weren't in second place. They allowed the Lakers to get there, but present day, they're right back in that position, and that's where they've been all season long. That's where they've been the most consistent. So I can't overlook the Houston Rockets and not say they haven't been impactful, haven't been the second best team in the West. But here the Lakers are, right back in the mix, led by LeBron James, led by Luka Doncic. Then you got Austin Reeves doing his thing, playing at a high clip. Like everything that's working for the Lakers right now comes on the heels of all three of these guys. But as far as their team collectively, are they the second best team? I would say they're 2A or 2B. It's going to come down to this last stretch of games, who's really the second best team. But Houston's been there, and the Lakers have been there as well. So it's hard to say which one of the two is the legitimate second best team in the West.
The Rockets woke up, Chandler. Like for a second there, we thought, oh, they're just becoming kind of where they probably should have been the whole time, and now they've won 8 in a row. So
yeah, hey, listen, 8 in a row. I don't care who it's against. I don't care what it is in the season. That is a nice stretch, and you cannot take anything away from them. You cannot discredit them. These dudes are young. They're hungry. They're playing. They have the second best defense in the entire NBA. The second highest defensive rating. So these dudes do it. They can win games. We talk about how good the Lakers defense has been recently. The Houston Rockets have been doing it all season long. Even when they went through a couple of those droughts, they can defend, which means they can always win basketball games. So come down to the playoffs and the postseason, I still like the Lakers and the Nuggets a little bit better than them, just with the youth and the inexperience. But man, this team is tough. It's going to be a grind for anyone to have to play them in a 7-game series. And I just think that the inexperience of being there before is going to hurt them and really help the Nuggets and the Lakers. But the West is nice, man. The West is all jumbled up. It's going to be funny. We haven't even talked about the Grizzlies. We haven't talked about the Warriors, who are arguably another hot team in the NBA. So it's going to be interesting to see how it falls and what these first-round matchups are going to look like. We can talk about the Warriors because the Lakers right now are in that 3 spot. If they stay there and things stay this way, they would have to play the Warriors in the first round. I have to believe that in that locker room, maybe they don't say it out loud, but you kind of want to avoid that first, don't you?
You can't avoid it. You can't avoid it.
You have to. You got to get the second spot.
No, well, the best thing you can do is just be prepared for whatever. And I think that's what the Lakers have done a great job of doing. You see the stretch of games that they've had. They're ready for whatever, whether it's the Warriors, whomever. You line them up, they've been playing great basketball. And then the Warriors on the flip side have been playing great basketball. And these are 2 championship caliber basketball teams. You got a LeBron James-led team. You have a Steph Curry-led team. Both guys who have championships under their belt, and they're used to having rough schedules. They're used to going through adversity. They're used to going, like LeBron has started a lot of playoff series on the road sometimes. You know what I mean? And so that's not a new experience to him. Steph Curry, that's not a new experience to him. So when you put these guys together, they're not ducking anybody when it comes to playoffs and standings and all of these things. They're ready and they're prepared to match up and face off against anybody. So I don't think it will matter.
I don't want it to be the first. I want this to be
if you're the
later.
Lakers too, I think the objective was obviously to get the highest possible seed, but look below if you get this 2 seed. Congrats. You get a healthy Kawhi Leonard and James Harden and Norman Powell at the Clippers, or you get Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, or they're starting to kind of figure it out with Julius Randle back in the lineup. So I think it's way too early to start trying to pick your matchups. I think it's way too early to start looking ahead in the seedings. But would this be an awesome series? Yeah, of course. They're 2 of the most historic franchises. Talking Steph Curry, LeBron James, like this would be unbelievable. Selfishly, I almost want it later in the postseason.
That's what I say.
But this would be incredible. But again, I'm with Lou. I think it's too early for the Lakers to start trying to pick their matchups and stuff, because that can end up haunting you.
I feel like we feel that way. Like I don't want this in the first round. This needs to be later on in the series.
You got a lot of great matchups either way, though. So yeah, we can save it for later. But let's not forget how the season started for both of these organizations, right? Both of them. Go ahead, Chandler.
And by the way, don't look now, but the Suns are in the 10 spot. So can you imagine them getting to the 7th? Then we got KD versus LeBron.
You keep falling for them. You got to let this one go.
It's trick dice.
It's
trick dice.
I'm looking at the standings. They are literally in the 10th seed right now.
No, I see that, but it's been a whole season of letdowns and disappointment. Like it is what it is.
I mean, and the Mavs are gifting it to them as they're not playing guys that are doing it. But I mean, my God, they are here. Lou, we've been on them for 2 years. I think we're officially off them, but they're gonna have a chance. They're gonna have a chance to get in.
Honestly, I have more confidence in Sacramento. I like Sacramento in the spot that they're in with the guys that they're playing. Like it's a different vibe check with these guys. You know, Beadle and I, we always talk about vibe checks. How does it feel? It feels like the Sacramento Kings are trying to put pressure on that 8 spot right there. I don't know. if the Suns win a game or two, yeah, they're going to go from 11 to 10, but then they go from 10 to 11. That's a team that should have a guaranteed playoff spot. So having them in this conversation, yeah, they could be some wedding crashers, but right now, I don't know.
I mean, I guess I do understand the theory that if they get there, that a Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal series may just all of a sudden be a little bit more unknown. It's just that it's just been so disappointing. It's very hard to get excited about it right now.
Agreed.
We might be wrong. Jokic and Murray, of course, didn't play in this one. They still both dealing with some nagging stuff. So I guess that conspiracy about stars come back in LA is dead. Lou, you're our conspiracy guy.
That's why we shouldn't listen to the internet.
Yes, we should.
That's why we shouldn't listen to the internet. You know, listen, guys love to play in LA. Guys love that environment. It's a great basketball gym. Great place to get off and have big games, but you don't want to be the guys that come back against a high-powered team like this and try to ease into a basketball game. Like, that's really the goal. When you're hurt and you have some knickknacks and some things, you want to have a game where you can kind of ease in and come in and try to do your thing and catch a rhythm again. That's not going to be the case if you come back against the Los Angeles Lakers with the way that they're playing right now. You know, so if they have legitimate injuries and they need more time, this wasn't the game to come back for sure.
Fair. That's fair. Conspiracy, done. I hope everyone saw this game. And if you didn't see the whole game, maybe the last few minutes of this game, totally worth it. Detroit, Miami. Cade Cunningham, hello, sir, with the game winner. Pistons win again, 116-113. He finishes with 25, 12, and 11. Duran with 15 and 11. Bam had 30. But it's the game winner that's beautiful. His 9th triple-double of the season. He's averaging 25, 9, and 6 overall. And as we know, the Pistons are more than relevant right now in this league, Lou. This is just a platform to say nice things.
He's been playing tremendous. Listen, that turnaround that the Detroit Pistons have had, he's been the head of the snake of the whole thing. And don't get me wrong, they have a very talented group led by JB Bickerstaff. And we mentioned it when he went on his fiery rant. You want a coach, you want somebody at the head of your team to have your back, to give you the confidence to go out there and accomplish things and be great. And that's been nothing short of what Cade Cunningham has been able to do. I think he's put together a great case for himself to possibly make second All-NBA. I wouldn't say first. You know, obviously you got Giannis, you got Tatum, you got SGA, you got Jokic, you got all those guys doing their thing. I see him falling second All-NBA. I don't even see him falling to third. I think he's right there in that sweet spot when it comes to these guards and when it comes to these young guys. But he's been nothing short of amazing in what he's been able to do in this quick turnaround for this Detroit Pistons team.
That is fun. What do you think, Chandler? It's a hell of a turnaround.
I couldn't be happier for him. I couldn't be happier for JB Bickerstaff. I couldn't be happy for the city of Detroit, just how much this is just instilling confidence and hope and just excitement of the city. And Cade, it all starts with Cade Cunningham. This dude's unbelievable. And I agree with Lou. I think he's second team, probably at best, but at least third team All-NBA. Just the turnaround this franchise has had. And I don't want to get carried away here. I don't want to get dramatic. I know the Nuggets would be not very good if you take Jokic off that roster. If you take Jalen Brunson, we can see Knicks, they struggle a lot. You take Cade Cunningham off the Pistons, they are not even close to being 8 games above 500. They are nowhere close to the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, and this team is dramatically different. He is that important to this team. He does everything. He's kind of, you know, we always talk about the true point guard. He's kind of that big, true pass-first point guard, but then also has a crazy offensive package where he can go get a bucket. I mean, listen, 26, 6, and 9. These numbers, you can't deny them. He's unbelievable. Everything I know about the kid, he's a hard worker. He just loves basketball. He's not distracted. This kid's going to have a hell of a future, and I'm just so hyped for what they got going on over there.
The coaching thing is interesting right now. Obviously, the Cleveland Cavaliers have had a beautiful season. They're in a weird little moment right now for them. But JB Bickerstaff, if you look at what he's done in Detroit, and then you always have to take the context of what they were last season. And he's your guy, Chandler. But the numbers right now, I think it's minus 1350 for Atkinson. So, you know, whatever, it's done. But Bickerstaff plus 900, make the case.
Give me those odds. I've said this before. 900 is insane. We knew the Cavs were going to be good this year. They were good last year when they were healthy with JB Bickerstaff as the head coach. There was certain drama. There were certain things around that personality-wise, which for some reason didn't mesh, which I still don't understand to this day, because knowing JB, he's probably the most players coach I've ever been around. But we expected Cleveland to be good. Did we expect them to be this good? No, I don't think they're going to be above the Celtics. I thought the Knicks were going to kind of be neck and neck with them. They have done an unbelievable job, and you can't discredit what they've done. Nobody expected this from the Detroit Pistons. Everyone thought they were for sure not even making the play-in, looking for a top 5 pick. How do we build around Cade Cunningham? Now it's what free agents can we get this summer to make this team a contender? How do we make that next jump? And the fact that we're even having this conversation shows just the unbelievable job JB has done, his entire staff has done, the growth of Cade Cunningham. Not forget either, they had Jaden Ivey, who was probably going to win Most Improved Player of the Year this year, go down a couple months ago for the season. He's not even playing. So if I had a vote, it would be JB Bickerstaff, just because nobody in the world expected the Pistons to be this good. Nope. Everyone knew the Cavs were going to be good.
That. I would take those odds.
I got to listen.
What if they go on a run? 12 games left. They just go on it.
I love it. I love it. I love what they've been able to build out again. This has been a great turnaround. But that turnaround has landed them in the 6th seed. And that's where they are. So that's good. It's not great. Cleveland has been great all year, and that's because of Kenny Atkinson, and so for that, I got JB Bickerstaff being a great runner-up, and what he's been able to do is nothing short of amazing again with what Detroit has been able to put together. But that turnaround is still just a 6 seed.
What if Cleveland loses 7 of their next and Detroit wins 7 of their next?
I think it's already in the bag.
But it shouldn't be.
A lot of we're 70 games in. You know, so if it can get swayed that dramatically in 12 games, then I don't know what we're playing the whole season for. But but other than that, I think they've played great, and he's been nothing short of amazing again. I've said that 3 times about Detroit because of that. That's literally what it is. But I still like Kenny Atkinson as the coach of the year by far.
Those are fun odds, though, I'm not going to lie. This next one's a little juicy. So a Western Conference executive recently said that Devin Booker to the Pistons this summer is 80 to 90% likely to come to fruition. That's kind of a high percentage. So, Lou, if that happens, what does that
Put your name on it.
I know. Western Conference executive. It could be anybody.
That's why we don't listen to the internet.
But that's a very specific 80 to 90%.
We can't say very specific and have a source that we don't know, right? So,
okay, but it's out there. It is out there. Somebody said it.
This is my first time hearing it.
Well, that's not my
fault. So who said it? I'm
going to guess
who said it, but
somebody with Phoenix.
But I'll entertain it. I would love to see Devin Booker with this group. They need another scoring punch. They need another veteran guy that can come in, that can be a 1-2 punch with Cade Cunningham. And again, right now you're seeing a team that's sitting on a 6 seed. They got so much young talent and a lot of different guys. Coaching staff is amazing. Culture there in Detroit is amazing. You're starting to see their Little Caesars Arena being packed out again. Yeah. You haven't seen that for a number of years. And so if you bring that star power into the city of Detroit, I think you got a good thing going if you can land Devin Booker.
We love lists and we love duos, Chandler. What would that be? Where would they rank?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a pipe dream, right? But this would be unbelievable. Everything that's going on in Phoenix, you would think that it's going to be a yard sale this summer. You think it's going to start with Kevin Durant. They're obviously going to go back on Bradley Beal. But that no trade clause has proven to be very difficult to get off of. So what assets do they have that they'd have to give up? I'm assuming Jaden, everyone is on the table besides Cade Cunningham. So, yeah, I mean, I think those 2 guards, that duo would be great. It's Devin Booker is young enough to where he can continue to still grow with Cade Cunningham and possibly becoming the best backcourt in the NBA. So I love this. I think offensively it makes sense. You continue to add these other vets like they did this summer with Beasley, with Harris, with Tim Hardaway, guys like that can help you win games right now while these young guys still develop, like Thompson, like Duren. Yeah, I think it would be a perfect fit. Now I'm with Lou. It's the first time I've heard of this. This an anonymous guy talking like this, so take it with a grain of salt. But in theory, yeah, I would love it.
What if this whole time it was just me making all of these up?
It could, by the way, it could be.
You'll never know.
It could be. You know what?
You'll never know.
I'm going to plant something soon, and I'm going to see how far it goes.
All you have to do is say an executive and then pick a conference.
There you go. I'm going to plant a fake news story, and I'm going to see how far it can go.
All right, I'm happy. See. Can I text you and say I think this is the fake one?
Let's collab.
Okay, we're good.
Let's do it together.
Project.
We're in.
Yeah, let's talk Miami for a second. That was their 9th straight loss, the longest streak they've had in the Spoelstra era. We know that this has been tumultuous even before the trade actually went down with Jimmy Butler, but it has definitely not gotten on track, Chandler. What happened? Like, they're broken. What happened?
Well, they took their best player off their roster, and now he's not there anymore. That's going to hurt any team. You take any team's best player off, and you add some pieces that don't equal him, they're not going to win as many games, right? And this was the situation. They had to do this. So it's like when the Heat are trying to look for blame, or, oh, Pat Riley was wrong. I don't see it like that. I see like his hand was forced. He got the best non-leverage deal that he possibly had at the time. It's like, yeah, does it look bad? Like it's that the Warriors are balling and Jimmy Butler's fitting in and that he looks like he has never been happier singing the praises of that franchise. Yeah, I guess optically that looks bad, but at the end of the day, they have Tyler Hero, they have Bam, they have the city of Miami that's always going to attract free agents, and this is something that they had to do this summer, or they were simply going to lose him for nothing. So again, it doesn't look good right now, it doesn't feel good right now because they're losing, and then you look over and the Warriors are winning. It's that sucks, but at the end of the day, you have 2 building blocks in Hero and Bam that guys are going to want to play with, and we're talking about Miami right here. They're always going to be in the hunt to get free agents. They're always going to be aggressive to acquire guys at the deadline. And this is what the move that they had to do regarding these circumstances.
Jimmy won.
He won. I mean, he really did.
Jimmy
across the board.
Yeah, Jimmy won because you look at this Heat team. They still got 2 All-Stars on that roster, but you remove Jimmy Butler and the wheels fall off. And so for that, you got to question everything that we've been told, everything that we've been made to believe about Heat culture and everything. You still need talent to win games, no matter what the culture is. And so I'm sure they'll reload and they'll do what they need to do. They'll do their due diligence in the summer. But 9 straight losses, this is a major setback. You know, so this headline right here says, "Did Jimmy Butler trade set the Heat back?" You tell me. This is self-explanatory.
4-16. And by the way, you may not blame Pat Riley for having to do the trade. I think we all agree he had to. But you could blame him for whatever started all of that in the first place. Like he didn't want to play ball. Whatever side you land on, I think that might be where the blame is going to lie at some point.
That's the thing. I think he could have took his foot off the gas a little bit. I think he kind of put a little gasoline on the situation. And knowing Jimmy, I think he could have possibly, both sides could have handled it differently. And now, right now it's like a breakup, and like it's not you, it's me, or is it? Like it's you know what I mean? This was a nasty breakup, and this started to become a distraction in Miami. So like he had to do this.
Yeah.
Other players are going to see this too. Other agents are going to see this and say, "Look, I'm the biggest swinging. You know what? I'm just going to use my leverage." And I am going to do what Jimmy Butler did because look how it worked.
You know what, Chandler? But it feels like this only happens with guys that are at the tail end of their careers in Miami. Like when they're young and they still have a bunch of star power, this doesn't happen. But you've seen it with D Wade in Miami. You've seen it with Shaq in Miami. You've seen it with Jimmy Butler. What is the common denominator? All of those guys were in their late 30s at the tail end of their careers when they begin to have issues in Miami. I don't know what that's about.
Well, also because you don't want to do this when you're 25 and in your prime, right, and develop that reputation.
That's
right?
true
like,
too. Well, Jimmy's kind of done this.
I'm gonna retire if no one else wants me. Like who? Like you know what I mean? So you have to do it towards the end of your career.
Okay, that actually makes sense. So we're going to work on it. We've also got a project we're working on. Quick break. More Run It Back on the other side.
Run it back, run it up, run it back.
Ain't nothing ordinary. This here is legendary. Legendary.
Slow-mo ISO Joe.
In there. That was rude. What's up, Joe?
Throw the slow-mo on
here.
there.
I know.
Those are fun.
Very rude.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
They have like side questions that we're going to get to in a second that we just added. Nobody knows yet. So we will get to that real quick. But I want to ask you about the nickname ISO Joe. Did you like it the minute that started? Was there a time where you didn't love it and it grew on you? How'd you feel about that one?
Yeah, it just kind of grew on me. I don't even remember when it, kind of started, but, as my career kept going, people just kept calling me that. So I just kind of ran with it,
I can't imagine not liking it.
Yeah. Joe, what's up, my brother? How you?
Hey, what's up? Lemon Pepper Lou, what's up, baby?
Man, listen, I'm gonna get a little messy with you, man, because Jeff just put your business out there, and he was on his pod and he was talking about he looked at his first check and he thought it was a pretty good check, and then you showed him your check for 2 weeks, and it was a $2 million check, and you put everything in perspective for my boy Jeff, man. You remember that moment? You remember that?
Yeah, those were good times, man. Good times, bro. Hey, they were good times, bro. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves here in Atlanta. Obviously, I'm still here, and I've been enjoying it since '05, bro.
That is such a moment.
Joe, we had Antoine Walker on this show earlier this week.
My guy.
Yeah, and you had played with him and Paul Pierce when you were 20 years old, and he was talking about how they basically partied every night, whether it was besides Utah and Indiana or something. What was it like for 20-year-old Joe Johnson playing with guys like him and Paul Pierce?
Man, it was inspirational, bro. I grew up watching Twan play because he played at Kentucky, and I'm an SEC guy, University of Arkansas. And he was one of those big dudes who loved to handle the ball. You know, I think his best attribute was probably passing. And getting to play with, and he had a great feel for the game, and then getting a chance to play with Paul, who was still young in his career. He had just signed a max contract my rookie year for like $96 million, Paul Pierce did. I think it was like his 5th year in the league. So he was a different type of Paul Pierce. You know, he was a young, arrogant Paul Pierce. You know what I mean?
Could you have survived playing more than one season with those guys, or it would have got dicey?
Nah, it was short-lived, bro. It was only 6 months into my rookie season. I got traded right after All-Star break, but that's one situation I think could have turned out pretty good. But what I didn't understand as a rookie, man, once you develop a little value for yourself in this league, they kind of put you on the shelf so they could trade you. Because I went from starting to just riding the bench for like 10, 15 straight games, DNPs. You know what I mean? Then I got traded.
Yeah.
Like a shocking moment. Your rookie year, you got to play guard against Michael Jordan. What was that like?
It was surreal. A moment that, I still look back on to this day. An idol of mine growing up. And I remember when I was growing up, it was only a couple channels you could watch, and I think like WGN, the Bulls was on every night. So getting a chance to compete against him my rookie year, and it was on TNT, like that was a memorable moment for me.
Joe, so your career really began to take off during your time in Phoenix, and in your last season there, you played with Steve Nash, and you played for Mike D'Antoni, and obviously D'Antoni was kind of the trendsetter, the trailblazer of the way the game was played now, up and down, three-pointers. Yeah. What was it like playing for him and with the PG and Steve Nash?
Man, it was so much fun playing for D'Antoni. The floor was wide open, everybody could play make. And Nash just fit seamlessly with guys like Amari Stoudemire, Sean Marion, Quentin Richardson, myself. He was so unselfish, bro. Nash was so unselfish, and he made everybody around us better. He knew at times, Quentin Richardson led the league in three-point makes that year. I led the league in three-point percentage at 48%. Wow. And it was all due to Nash, man. It would be times, we would come down and he'd be like, okay, Q ain't had one in a minute, or Joe ain't had one in a minute. He would make sure, we would get shots. And it's just little stuff like that. I think that's how he ended up becoming a 2-time MVP, because he could have scored 25 a night, but he settled for 16 points, 14 assists.
Isn't it crazy that year you shot 48% from three, and you look today's basketball, you see these dudes are shooting 15, 17 threes a game? Like, can you imagine if you got that many looks when you're shooting 50%?
Man, I couldn't imagine, bro. But I couldn't imagine. But it looks fun. It looks fun nowadays.
It does look fun.
I enjoy watching it. But I give Nash the credit, bro. And that year I shot 48 from the three-point line. He just made my job so much easier.
I'm kind of glad you mentioned all the guys you just mentioned, because that roster, when you look at it, is an insane roster. Do you ever think back and just wonder, like, why didn't we get a title? Like, that roster should have gotten a title.
We only had 1 year together. We had 1 year together, and then they broke us up. Obviously it was my contract year, so they didn't expect for us to be the #1 team in the league, and I kind of drew my value up to the point to where they couldn't re-sign me. And then they traded Quentin Richardson before I even got out of there. So it was like, I don't really know. The management had changed. That's when Robert Sarver had took over. So he really wasn't I don't know if he just really wasn't feeling me in Q at the time.
And that was the season that Steve Nash won the MVP over Shaq, and then the next year he won the MVP over Kobe. I want to get your opinion. Now that a lot of time has gone, you think he had both of them in the bag, or because the Shaq one was kind of controversial? Did Steve deserve both of those MVPs?
Man, he did. I'm gonna tell you why, bro. We had a stretch. We had a stretch where he missed like 8 to 10 games. We probably won 1 game, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's how.
That's impact.
That's how important he was to us. Because when we had him on the floor, it was like, you know, we was just blowing teams out left and right. But when he wasn't on the floor, it was like, why is the game so hard? You know what I mean?
Real floor general right there.
We just, like this year, we just had the shocking trade, the Luka trade. Believe it or not, people that lived through that, there were other shocking trades that have happened before, one of them being KG and Pierce going to Brooklyn. Did you think when that trade happened and they came to Brooklyn, this is it, something special is about to happen?
Yeah, I honestly, I did. I thought we were going to be the team who could beat the Heat. You know, we was able to get Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Jason Terry came over, and we started off rocking. I think we started off like 5-15, and we was on the front cover of Sports Illustrated. It was embarrassing. You know, it was hard to even walk around New York. But we dealt with injuries that year with Darren Williams and Brook Lopez getting hurt. You know, we was forced to kind of play a lot smaller and play KG at the 5. So, but for the most part, we made a good run at it. We made a good run.
At one point when you were out there, you called the team selfish. I mean, it's been long enough. We're all past it. Who were you talking about?
Man, what you talking about in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
When I call somebody selfish?
That's what the internet says. Maybe you didn't.
You can't believe everything you hear and see. You know what I mean? Listen. We had a great squad, man. We had a great squad. I think if it wasn't for injuries, maybe we could have beat the Heat. But the Heat was they was tough, man. They was tough.
Joe, anytime we have someone that played with KG on here, we have to ask him. What was the craziest, thing you ever seen him do or say in the locker room or on the court? I know I have my situations with him when it's on the free throw. The dude talked to himself like he would beat his chest, scared the out of me when I was a young player. Honestly, playing with him, what's one of the more nuts things you saw him do?
Bro, I used to try to be like one of the first ones in the gym, right? So I could never be the first one because he would always beat me. And by the time I get there, he already drenched in sweat telling a story. I'm like, dang, what is this dude doing today? Like, it's like he had a story every day. So when you see him and Paul Pierce interact the way they do, bro, that is him. He be on 10.
That's every day, Joe.
How does he have so many
we record our pods in the same building. Every once in a while, I'll pop in and chill with him. Cade, that is not an act.
Does he just remember
Cade,
everything?
He's intense all day, every day. That's just how he kicks it.
That's him, bro. And I love to see it. But yeah, that's him. He has a real passion, for the game. And you can tell by the way he talks. He starts sweating and everything. He be going crazy. He can't control himself or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I had never been so scared of someone talking to themselves. Like, he wasn't even talking trash to me, and I was like, is this dude okay?
Well, that's scarier than if he's talking to you.
But he's one of those dudes who you hate to play against, but you love him on your team, bro. You love him on your team. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You played with D. Wade and Bosh. That was post-LeBron there. And everyone's already sort of appointed Luka as LeBron's best teammate of all time. You've seen D. Wade up close and personally. Are we kind of forgetting how great D. Wade was as far as LeBron teammates in time?
Yeah, man, D. Wade was special. Even before LeBron, he was special. But with LeBron, he was even more special. I just think LeBron was so great that, I think people kind of took a down looking on D. Wade. But, I mean, we forget, man, he's top 3 two guards ever. Yeah. Like nobody get D. Wade credit. I don't know why, man. He's a bad boy. I got a chance to see it up close in person, the Heat culture with D. Wade and UD and how those dudes led. Man, listen. Hey, he was special, bro.
Real deal. And in your longevity, man, you competed against a D. Wade. You competed and played against a LeBron. You also played against Wizards MJ.
No.
Wizards MJ, Kobe, Bron, D-Wade, out of all of those guys looking back, who was the toughest person that you had to guard and play against? Because you went through the gauntlet. That's everybody. That's all of them.
I'm gonna have to probably give it to LeBron. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I played in playoff series against him. I didn't play in playoff series against those other dudes. And playing in the playoff series, you know, Lou, Chandler, I mean, you know everything they gonna do. And you gotta try to stop it, bro. And he was special. Hey, he was special every night. I'm like, God, dog. So all of them were tough in their own rights, but, you know, I played against LeBron in a couple playoff series, and he was special. I played in D-Wade in some playoff series. He was special as well. So, you know, those guys who can shoot the ball whenever they want to, they the hardest to guard, bro.
Joe, I hate to do it, but I got to ask now, especially what you just said. You played against both. You played against both. Obviously, you didn't play against Prime MJ. You played against Wizards MJ. Me and Lou have our opinion. You've played against both. Who's the greatest basketball player of all time?
I'm MJ all day, bro.
Yeah, and Jordan Brand. You can't go against the logo.
Hey, look, I grew up watching Jumpman, MJ. I'm a huge fan, and I felt like he made the game sexy in some aspect, and I just enjoyed it from the time. You know, I was probably about 7, 8 years old, bro, for real.
Yeah.
We're talking about guys that you played against. I want to know in your 18-year career, who's the best player you feel like you've played with?
The best guy I played with?
You got Nash, Pierce, KG, Wade, Bosh, Harden, CP3, Penny.
I'm gonna probably go with Nash, man. It was just perfect timing for me. That was my 4th year in the NBA, so it took me kind of 3 years to kind of figure it out. And by the time I figured it out, now I'm playing with 2-time MVP Steve Nash, which we didn't know it at the time, but I think me and him in the backcourt it fit so seamlessly. Like we had so much fun, bro. Lou, it's nothing like going into a game, Chandler. You know, it's not like going into a game knowing that you're gonna win, bro. That's how I felt every time we stepped on the court.
Joe, so your last season in the NBA, you played with both James Harden and Chris Paul in Houston, who both have received their fair share of hate. Do you think James Harden is actually underappreciated at this point, especially from the season he's having this year? Or do you think he gets the flowers he deserves?
No, I definitely think he's underappreciated. He's done a lot for this Clippers team, who I think a lot of people had them out of the picture. But, you know, he's been there consistently the whole year, playing at an all-star caliber level. And, you know, when the playoffs come, he'll be able to, you know, he's going to probably win you a couple games in a series, if not win you the series. So I think his time to shine will come up in the playoffs. And I'm looking forward to that Clippers team making a run. I think they got Kawhi back, so as long as he stays healthy, man, they're a scary team to, you know, to see.
You're going to mess up some people's dreams. Joe, I always wonder if you guys look at these sort of times, these years, the same way we as fans do. So, for example, with Chris Paul and Harden, they only got the 2 seasons together. Do you look at that and think, man, if they could have stayed together longer, or did you know perhaps something was off and that wasn't going to last?
No, I didn't. I think it all plays back to, you know, CP's injury. If he don't get hurt, I mean, I was on that team. If CP don't get hurt, we up 3-1, 3-2, something like that. If he don't get hurt, we get a chance to go to the finals, man. And, you know, you never know. So injuries play a huge part of the game, and those guys were special at those times.
Joe, this is a crazy stat that you played in 9 7-game series in your NBA career, which is bananas.
Dreadful.
Yeah. Does one of those stand out the most compared to the others?
Probably, I got a couple of them. I'll probably say playing here in Atlanta when we played against the Miami Heat in a Game 7. I can't remember. I think that was 2009. And we won that game. And the one in Brooklyn, playing against Toronto, in Toronto, Game 7. Toronto's crowd was crazy. That's probably the loudest I've ever heard an arena, you know, in the playoffs. And it was a very, very hostile environment, but it was so much fun to play in.
Man, another series was that 2018 one where the Rockets missed 37 of 44 threes. That was crazy.
I wasn't trying to remember. I wasn't trying to remember that.
What?
That one didn't come to mind.
By the way, that would just be like a normal game.
I was going to say today, that's nothing.
That's a good game today. That's
Yeah, I think I missed a couple to live too. You know what I mean?
But is that crazy? Like looking back at that, like what do you just remember? Like did we settle into? Like what do you even think when you see it? Because now I'm looking at now and I'm like, now teams like the Celtics shot 63 the other night. That's nothing.
Man, it's crazy, man. I mean, they were great shots. I thought in that game 7, we had a lot of great looks. They just didn't go down. Unfortunately, it was a game 7, so, you know, it sticks out, you know, more than some other ones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Joe,
Do it.
Hold on.
We're going to do it.
Let me set the table here.
Set the table. Go ahead.
Dallas Mavericks. They're about to forfeit games, by the way, if they don't get some players. If they give you 20 minutes tonight, how many are you getting?
To 20 minutes?
Yes.
Oh, man, I can at least get you 15. 15 to 17 for sure.
I don't want to tell you how many points Lou said you'd get, but he said you'd get 4.
I'll be honest. I said, look, Joe looked like he had a piece, man. He'd go out there and get 4 to 6 points, man. He looked like he had a piece right now, man.
Lou, in 20 minutes, yeah, I can get you 15 and 20. Yeah.
And in 20 minutes, you're taking 10 shots. Are you kidding me?
And you know what the next thing?
Hey, I'm gonna be efficient because I'm playing from here up. These young boys, they playing from the waist down. You know what I mean?
Hey, Joe, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that because the very next thing I said, well, he still be kicking them young boys' ass in ATL in the summer, though. I said, he still be whooping him, though.
Hey, somebody got to tighten these young boys up around here, man. You know what I mean?
Joe, before we let you go, man, it's our favorite time of year. We got March Madness going on. Your alma mater, Arkansas, they're 10 seed right now. Got Kansas tomorrow. What's your thoughts on it, man? How far can this team go?
Man, you know what? I think we're unpredictable, scrappy. We lost our point guard early in the season in Boogie Flynn. I'm not sure if he's going to play or not. I think he's, you know, kind of getting back on track, but I'm not sure if he's going to be 100%. And we lost some other key guys throughout the season, but we've been scrappy, bro. We've been scrappy. We've been fighting. So you never know. I look forward to those guys going in and, you know, coming out with a victory.
I'll tell you what, no teams are more prepared than SEC teams this year.
Here we go.
14 teams are in the dance, Joe.
Man.
So SEC will win a chip this year.
That's not what I hope.
How long do you think it takes for Coach Cal to put a team together to really compete for a title? Because you know he got the star power.
How much Tyson chicken bread is he going to get this summer?
He got some young studs coming in this summer. Some elite talent, obviously, offensively, defensively. I think we've been great, you know, especially in the SEC, shot blocking, rebounding. So we got a lot of guys, man, who are very talented and, you know, can explode at any given game. So I'm looking forward to this tomorrow.
Joe, you know the yoga speaks to me. Have you gotten Lou to try any of it? Like, you guys are right there.
I ain't got him in there yet. I'm going to get him, though. I ain't got him yet.
I keep trying to get him to go to a class with me out here.
It's time, Joe. Everything hurt. It's time.
I'm telling you.
I know, bro. Hey, Lou, as we age, bro, we got to keep the joints and muscles lubricated, bro, so we don't have them little knickknacks. You know what I mean?
No, it's time, bro. My back is in bad shape.
When it happens, Joe, videos,
I got you. I'm reaching out.
Lou's going to be a yogi golfer before we're done.
Bro.
I'm reaching out.
Get him all zen. Joe, this has been awesome. Hopefully we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Joe.
We'll be right back.
Yep.
Run it back, run it up.
I want to play Jeff Teague, I want to play Ty Loss, and I want to play Lou Will. Hey, what did you just do?
Lou Will, bro. Lou Will?
Why did you say Lou?
Just okay. He wants to play. When is that happening?
That's what I got to do.
I don't know, but you're on his mind.
No, listen, I love this. I love competitive spirit.
And Lou will.
This is why we're all relevant. You know, we're all basketball players. We're all competitive people. I love it. But BJ, if you think for one moment you're going to wake up and challenge me and think I'm not going to respond, I'm down to do it whenever, wherever, whatever. Line it up.
Let's go.
Let's get some straightening.
Special edition.
Yeah, let's get some straightening, B. Jennings. We got to get that straightened out. Let's get that understood.
Wait, who were the other two who want to play?
Jeff Teague, Drew Holiday.
That's right. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to happen, Chandler.
Let's get that lined up.
Oh, I'm so excited about that.
FanDuel, line it up. I want it live on FanDuel.
Hell yeah. Oh, I think this is going to be fun.
I love it.
See Lou in action.
For sure.
By the way, the Drew Holiday
I knew
thing.
it was the reason why I got back in the gym last week. Something my spidey senses was tingling. Some said, go get 250 up. Go get 250 makes up. I hadn't picked up a ball.
Oh, wow.
It was like riding a bike. I can't wait to show off
I can't wait to see this, Champ. This is going to be our greatest day ever.
Line it up, BJ.
As a little fam.
Line it up.
The Drew Holiday thing, too, because that was in there. He said that Drew Holiday may have a better career, but that Drew's never been better than him at the game of basketball. So are you buying that?
Look, I think people forget how great Brandon Jennings was when he came into the league, what he was as a prep star, his impact was. Like, some of that rant, he was right. He was the original guy that didn't go to college, went overseas, made $1.5 million, then came back, had a great NBA career that was derailed with some injuries and things of that nature. I think people forget that part.
They probably do.
Brandon Jennings was one of those guys. Now you look at the longevity of what Drew Holiday has been able to do. Now Drew Holiday presently has an argument to go back and forth. So we're talking about two guys, two different moments in times that are both great in their own rights. And so I don't want to pick one or the other. I love both of these guys, but I think this dates back to some Cali high school.
I like that.
I think this fight is different than what everybody even understands what's going on. I don't think this is a pro thing. I think this is a youth basketball, Cali, prep sports argument. So I don't know what's going on, but I love both of these guys, but I love the competitive spirit. I love the fact that guys have a platform, go out there, talk some trash with each other. We're all competitive. It's all fun and games.
I love this, Chandler.
And it's always a different argument, right? Better player or better career.
Right.
Remember Marshawn Brooks, Lou? He's my boy from.
I speak to Brooks once a week right now.
I understand what he would do to most players, like one-on-one, or he's a better hooper than half the dudes that have had a better career in the NBA. So I understand what Brandon's saying. And Brandon Jennings was a dog at Compton Dominguez. I played him in high school. He was so good. So I think he's the youngest dude to ever have 50 in the NBA. Like he did have some time. Now Drew Holiday's a champ, Olympian gold. So we're talking different categories of success career-wise. So it's hard, but Brandon Jennings could hoop back in that. It's not getting twisted.
All right, I'm just concentrating on the Lou Brandon Jennings showdown. Taking a quick break. On the other side, a great scorer showed himself last night. History was made.
Run it back, run it up, run it back.
My family's here. My father here, my brother here. It's an unbelievable night. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. We love you guys. Flav, have you ever seen a shooting performance like this before?
Hey, let me tell you something. I don't care what nobody say, my man is on fire!
Shout out Flav, shout out Mamu, shout out Dan Weiss. That is from last night. Sandro MAMUKELASHVILI drops 34 points in 19 minutes, 13 of 14 from the field, 7 of 7 from 3, and makes history. Most points by a player in less than 20 minutes since the history of the NBA, guys. How awesome is that?
That was. And
they beat the Knicks.
That was great. That was great. The highlights were great. And these are earned buckets, too. This isn't like trash minutes. They needed these buckets. They needed somebody to give them a spark. This is amazing.
They were down big.
So shout out to Sandro. I'm a fan, bro. But now you got a target on your back. We need more.
I mean, he never plays like that much, so it's awesome.
And watching these highlights, this doesn't look like fool's gold. Like, this dude looks like he can hoop. Like Lou's saying, these are real highlights. Like, he's got a nice looking jump shot. Like,
he comes off the bench and does stuff.
This is a game. This is a heck of a game. Congrats.
I also have no answers because I've been asked now, why is Flavor Flav in San Antonio? I don't know. Why isn't he? Is the better question. He's everywhere.
He was perfect, though. He was perfect. I thought he was going to steal the spotlight. It was perfect.
He rules. That'll do it for us today. Tomorrow will be Friday, and we will have Baron Davis on. Enjoy the tournament. Starts in a few hours. See y'all tomorrow.
Run it back, run it up, run it back, yeah.